Mutated dinosaurs have taken over the planet, and it's up to you and a couple of friends to wipe them out. Hello friends, it's Kodiak here, one half of the team behind Legacy Gaming, and today we're diving into a brand new first-person shooter, Second Extinction, to see if it's truly worth your time. What is Second Extinction? Truth be told, I don't think a lot of people had this game on their radar, so let me break it down for you. Second Extinction is a first-person cooperative shooter. Mutated dinosaurs have taken over Earth, and it's your job to complete tasks and push back the prehistoric invasion. Now let's be clear here, Second Extinction is an early access game, but the small team of developers have done a great job creating something modular enough that it can evolve throughout the course of development. Currently, players have access to one map, Tundra Campaign, but within that map are a number of different scenarios and areas to explore. Each scenario is different, and while not incredibly complex, it does change up what you're doing from mission to mission. If you needed another game to compare Second Extinction to, it would have to be Left 4 Dead. The game functions almost exactly the same. Hordes of enemies continuously rush you while you work towards a few mission objectives, and you have a finite number of resources, but thanks to your loadout and supply points you find along the way, you're never far from a resupply. Now before we dive in and cut down hordes of dinos, let's talk about the characters. There are 4 currently in the game: Rosie, a minigun-toting badass, Jurgen, a wily sniper, Amir, the grenade-launching pretty boy, and Ortega, the no-nonsense soldier. Each brings something a bit different to the fight, including a set primary weapon, a secondary weapon, 3 changeable pieces of equipment, and some unique abilities. While they're all capable of dealing damage, each character is clearly designed for a certain style of play. Rosie and Ortega are your frontline damage dealers, while Amir and Jurgen are more of the backline powerhouses. The characters feel distinctly different, and it's more about your playstyle than their kits that makes them worth choosing. I spent time with each of the 4 playable characters currently in the game, and while I feel that some of the abilities are better than others, I like where the team is going. Once again, they're not biting off more than they can chew, and the options we have at this point are solid. There's also enough flexibility with the characters and their gear to provide players with enough incentive to keep coming back for more. During missions, you'll pick up loot from various dinosaurs and collect research, and it's all used to upgrade your guns. The armory feature isn't overwhelming or deep, but it does provide you with some game-changing perks that not only improve your weapon's effectiveness, but sometimes its functionality. For example, giving you access to a 3-shot burst when aiming down the sights of your assault rifle. With your gear adjusted, it's time to assemble a team. Second Extinction features 3-person co-op, and I think it's the perfect number for this game. Playing alone is dreadful, it's just the honest truth, and the balance doesn't seem to account for any players opting to go alone. But use the game's matchmaking system, good or bad, find an ally or two, and then things really start to pop off. As you'd imagine, I had the most fun playing the game with a full party. With different abilities and character fortes in the mix, it was easy sliding into our roles as frontline or backline fighters. And what I found to be the biggest surprise, the game doesn't feature any in-game voice chat, but does feature an Apex Legends style ping system that can bridge any language barriers. However, there are still some sticking points. You use a supply drop system to call down nearly everything from ammo and equipment to quest items, and if your teammates pick up something but don't know how to use it, you're pretty much out of luck. There's no backdoor to allow more competent players to keep moving quest objectives forward, and there's no way to talk to your teammates, and it can quickly slow down your momentum. This didn't really bother me since objectives are pretty simple, but it's an obvious flaw. Additionally, outside of the main scenario, there are secondary missions, but unless you're actively looking to do them, there is hardly any reason to travel off the beaten path. These optional quests do reward you with research, which is nice, especially for players still trying to upgrade their weapons, but there is just a weird disconnect that makes me wonder why they're there in the first place. If completing these secondary missions gave you access to better guns or just better rewards, they'd be worth it, but for now, they just don't matter. If the game was designed more as an open-world experience, it may make sense, but because we're actively choosing scenarios and launching missions, the game seemingly guides us through without really pointing us or making those secondary objectives seem valuable. There's also a war effort overlay that reacts to players' contributions across the game. Players can opt to drop into harder areas of the map, fight through more challenging dinosaurs, and reap the rewards. I've always liked living progression, especially when it involves the entire community, and the way they handle it in Second Extinction feels organic and elevates the game and nudges players towards different experiences. When it comes to the combat, I had an absolute blast ripping through dinosaurs. The various enemy types force you to change up your strategy, and the more elite enemies pose serious challenges. I've seen a ton of complaints about the sound design, and sure, the guns and localization isn't exactly perfect, but they pack a serious punch, especially once upgraded. Movement and controls also feel fantastic and fit the bill for a game in the modern era. Dodging dinosaurs is sometimes your only option, and your character's mobility never seems to hold you back, and that's a huge plus. Second Extinction really does a great job combining the fun of a serious Sam-style game with the systems of a Left 4 Dead. The action almost never stops, the map is easy to traverse and interesting enough to keep players engaged, and the combat is just too sweet. Each gun offers a satisfying result, dinosaur body parts flying every which direction, and even the pistol can pack a punch. Add on to that the character's abilities like Amir's orbital laser or Rosie's shock fence, and you can really enjoy some carnage. As you level up, you also gain access to new guns and equipment, which is great to keep players coming back for more. I hope this system keeps getting expanded. Because there is no PvP element to this game, the team can add as much as they'd like without really having to worry about balance. I do think there are things the team needs to iron out. The core gameplay loop is there, but without some serious expansion on what's already developed and a way to get players more invested in the world itself, I'm not sure Second Extinction will break through the noise. The game is designed on the principles of replayability, and I do think they nailed that. It's easy to keep going round after round, and even though the missions get a bit stale and repetitive, you have to remember this is just launching into early access, so I'm giving them a pass. There are also a number of gameplay bugs that need to be addressed, but these things come with time. This is not a AAA launch, and if you've been through these small dev releases before, this is nothing new. Spend 2 minutes on their website and you'll see there's nothing but passion behind the game. And for a really small team of developers, they've managed to create enough of an experience to leave a lasting impression without taking on more than they can handle. So with all that in mind, we return to the question we posed at the beginning of this video. Is Second Extinction worth your time? And the answer is maybe. The gameplay is good, and there are plenty of high points to sell me on the title, but without seeing the long-term evolution of the game, it's hard for me to recommend it outright. I think launching into early access was the smart decision. The team will make some money with people checking out what the game has to offer, and they'll be able to develop more content thanks to those new funds, which is exactly what needs to happen. New characters, new maps, a deeper connection with the world, and objectives are all things that can vastly improve the state of the game. Adding in-game voice is another must-do, as Second Extinction is clearly designed to be played with other people. I think the team is on the right track, and the game is definitely fun, so if you're willing to hang in there through some development hurdles, this game is worth your time. But if you'd rather have a more polished product with the bugs and jankiness worked out, add it to your wishlist and keep an eye on its progress. We hope this video helped you figure out if Second Extinction is worth your time. If you enjoyed this series and want more worth your time videos in your feed, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing to Legacy Gaming. You can also check us out on Discord. Our community of over 6,000 members is spread across dozens of great games, so click that link below and join the Legacy. My name is Kodiak, and on behalf of Livid and myself, thanks for watching, and play on.